Hello दोस्तों, welcome to ChemSourcer. This is your tutor Shubhsar Patil. So this video is gonna be about how to study organic chemistry for your JEE or NEET exam. So it doesn't matter because all say syllabus is almost same. Okay, so I'm gonna cover a lot of things. Okay, from chapters, their how to study them, what need to be studied, and all those things. Okay, so be with us and please subscribe, support us. Here it's an image when Mahabharata war was happening. So there were only two people who knew Chakravyuh, how to from Pandavas. Only there were only two people who knew how to enter the Chakravyuh. One was Arjuna and the other one was Abhimanyu. But since Arjuna was busy fighting with other enemies, only Abhimanyu knew how to enter that Chakravyuh. So he enters the Chakravyuh. But the problem was he didn't know how to come back. So because of that lack of knowledge, he got martyred in that Chakravyuh. So why this I'm telling you stories, because in the competition has increased so much, so it becomes important that you know each and everything about your exam. And it is better said that it is good to be bleed in the playing field, or play good to bleed in while practicing than in the war. Okay, so we should know about our exam, our competitors. Okay, how the mindset of examiner works and all those things. So this video is gonna be about everything. It's just a mix of all those things. So here it's just a a rough figure of how many people are participating in the exams. Okay, so there are nearly like from it's the data that I have taken from the Google. So it's of past 5 years. It begins from 2018. Nearly 11 lakhs in 50,000, and in 2019 it's nearly 12 lakh 40, 20 lakh 20,000. Sorry, 2020 it's nearly 11.7. In 2021 10 lakh 48,000. 22 it's again 11 lakh 13,000. So if we consider it's on an average 11 lakh plus. 11 lakh के ऊपर ही एग्जाम्स बचे दे रहे हैं. एंड नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स हु आर क्वालिफाइड आर नियरली 2 lakh 31, 2 lakh 45, 2 lakh 50, 2 lakh 50 again 2 lakh. So 2 lakh 50,000 students are qualifying. So it's a very less percentage. So because of this toughness, and many are hoping to get into IITs, ISERs. Okay, some are hoping for ISCs also. So clearing that, having that edge against your competitor makes a large difference. Okay, this can bring you from this number of application to qualifying students. So it becomes important. Now this table is about organic chemistry. How many questions are there asked in organic chemistry? So again, it is a 5 years data. In JEE Mains 8 in 2018, in 2019 it is 10, in 2020 again 9 questions, 2021 8 questions, 2022 10 questions. So on an average they are asking 10 to 11 questions from every year. And in advance 10, 12, 11, 13 and 12. So again it is on an average consider 12 questions for just organic chemistry. And in mains, there is 30 questions are asked for from each subject, that is PCM. So 10 questions are from, if you consider it is organic chemistry. So what I feel is, in comparison with physical and inorganic, organic is a little bit of easy. So might feel it is tough, but trust me, it is very easy. Because when I was studying, I felt it very interesting apart from physical and inorganic. Because if you understood one topic, one concept of organic, then you can apply it anywhere. It can be applied in n number of questions. You can guess if you don't know even the if the question is tough, but you can understand that. Okay, if you understood the topic, you can easily, with the help of your just elimination methods, you can just answer the things. And there are chances that 70 to 80% your questions answer will be right. So I feel organic chemistry is easy as compared to physical as well as inorganic. So now how to now I have mentioned that it is easy, but that easiness didn't come to me because I'll practice. Yes, while I was preparing for my GATE exams and my CSR NET exams, I felt it like, yeah, I need more practice. And with practice, I also mean that I study books. Okay, mock test is also important. and revision. Yeah, that's the game changer. Revision is the game changer. So how now the strategy that should everyone should follow is to have their fundamentals clear. Yeah, to have that is their fundamentals should be very clear. Now what I mean by fundamental clear होने चाहिए, मतलब क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं, fundamental clear होने चाहिए. ठीक है, before going to the depth, I will be dividing the chapters of organic chemistry of 11th, okay, of 11th and 12th into 3 groups. Okay, I'm dividing it into 3 groups. These 3 groups include the group 1. Okay, this group 1 I rate it as 2 stars. Okay, I rate it as 2 stars, and the number of stars indicates importance. The first chapter is you can cover some basic concepts of chemistry. So these concepts of chemistry include your everything, molarity, normality. Okay, this is your normality, molarity, Avogadro number, everything, each and everything that basics of chemistry that you have studied in your 9th and 10th class. Those who are CBSE, of course. I don't know about any state syllabus. Yeah, but for CBSE students, these all things are you have came across in your 9th and 10th also. So this is very important. Why? Because even though if they are not asking in mains, but in advance, there may be descriptive questions which can, they won't give you any equation, reaction. So they might just give a statement. That statement may include normality, molarity, anything they can give. So based on that, you need to answer. So this chapter becomes very important. Now, second question is hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons means, by this chapter, I mean that you should understand each and everything about the carbon family. Okay, you should understand about carbon family. Now carbon family means it's about it, what are the properties, why it is exceptional and all those things. Okay, different forms of carbon that are present like diamond, graphite and all those things. Yeah, that's not necessary, but you should have that knowledge, and again how it behaves and what and all those things. So that basic hydrocarbon chapter that is present in NCERT, that is enough. NCERT is enough, and if you want to support it with any other study material such as your coaching institute or your class notes, or like if you are referring any book other apart from NCERT, that is well and good, but just don't go depth, just understand what the topic is. And in hydrocarbons, I mean, yeah, isomerism, I mean IUPAC nomenclature. This is very important. Until and unless you don't know the naming of those compounds, you can't just proceed with the organic chemistry. Okay, so all those isomerisms, effects, mesomeric effects, and all those things, effects, and yeah, right now I'm remembering these 3 today. But in further slides, I will be telling you in depth about each and every topic of each and every chapter of the organic chemistry. Okay. Apart from this, I would suggest you to read about the periodic table. Periodic table is also important. Now, why periodic table is important is because periodic table will let you know how atoms behave in a table. So if you know those things, then you can go with descriptive questions that can be asked at the advanced level. Mains में पूछ सकते हैं, पूछ से भी है, they also ask in mains also. But I would, if you are studying this, then I think you are preparing for your advance as well. Okay, so and NEET people, yeah, that much depth is not involved. Anyhow, your periodic table, you are going to cover it in the inorganic part only. So by this, I don't mean that you should refer any separate book and all those things. NCERT is more than enough. I'm just telling you, if you are studying organic chemistry, with that include this chapter also, periodic table, so that either it will cover it in the inorganic part or organic part, doesn't matter, but it will help in understanding the further chapters. So periodic table is must. Okay, periodic table is must. Again, atomic structure. Now, why atomic structure means? Because this will help in bond length, electronegativity, and ionization energy. So all these things. So whatever are present, so this will help in understanding, different types of reactions. If there are many other options, or then there are similar atoms or similar elements reacting, then these concepts will help you in determining or understand, answering which one will react first, which one will react late, or which one will have a higher energy and all those things. Okay, so atomic structure plays an important role. Okay, don't miss this. please study. And you with that you can compare with these chapters, these two chapters, that is a periodic table, because there you will understand ionization energy trend from top to bottom, from left to right in the periodic table. So these two chapters can be combined easily. Okay, so and this group 1, the first thing that you need to study in organic chemistry, these 4 chapters. Okay, so don't skip. Now the second group is group 2. I will rate it as 5 stars. Okay, just rate it as 5 stars. Now why 5 stars? Because it is whole and soul of the organic chemistry. Apart from these 4 chapters, or like 5 chapters, 4 to 5, these are the major ones. Okay, these are the major 4 chapters. 80% of your organic chemistry depends on these things only. Now haloalkanes and haloarenes, okay, alcohols, phenols, aldehydes, amines. Okay, you need to study about their preparation, reaction, chemical reactions, their properties. Okay, these 3 things are very, very important. Okay, you can't just miss them. Preparation is very important. In these days, they also include all these things, may include named reactions, some special reactions. Okay, special reactions, which are very exceptional. Okay, which only have such as Grignard reagent. It is a very special reaction. Okay, it can do many things. Grignard reagent can do many things. So it is one of those special reaction. And aldol condensation. Okay, it becomes very important when you are studying aldehydes, ketones. Okay, so aldol condensation, they can ask in any form. They can give you a starting reactant. Okay, direct, and aldehyde they will give, or they give you a direct ketone, anything. Okay, or they can say just prepare, or they can just give any raw materials. You have to prepare a carbonyl carbon, which is very suitable for aldol condensation. So these are some special reactions, some named reactions, which you need to understand. And when you can understand is while they are studying their properties, okay, and their chemical reactions. And with these two comes your preparations. Preparation also plays a very important role. Okay, so this is a group. Now group 3, that includes your biomolecules. Biomolecules again contains your carbohydrates, your proteins, your vitamins, and yeah, this much. These 3 things are very important in your amino acids, but that can be considered into proteins only. Okay, so this is again polymers. Your polymers contains also many things. I will let you know in the further slides what you need to study. Chemistry in everyday life, yeah, don't miss it. It is very important because मेंस में क्वेश्चन पूछ लेते, 1-2 क्वेश्चन आ जाते इससे. That is general science. You can if you are a very keen observant in your day-to-day life, okay, related to chemistry, so then it can help you. So these 3 chapters are very important. Now and this group 3 I would rate as 2 stars or 3 stars. Okay, just rate it. So I would prefer you to study this at last. Okay, जैसे मैंने group बताया है, group 1 and group 2. So first study group 1, then group 2, then group 3. So it will help you. Group 1 will help you understand group 2, and group 2 will automatically help you understand group 3. Group 3 is nothing, is a general, general concept, very raw. It's a raw, very raw chapters are. These 3 things are very raw chapter. So you don't need any prerequisite knowledge of those things. Okay. Yeah, but studying these 3 chapters in last will save you a lot of time. Okay, so saving time management and all those things are very important. Now what do you mean by fundamentals? As in earlier slides as I showed, what do you mean by fundamental? So with fundamental I mean that basics. Yeah, both are same only, but in basic in the sense of 2 things. One is you understand the physical concepts of those atoms, physical concepts like bond length, bond energy, enthalpy, ionization. All these 3 things are important. Not in the terms of you should remember all those energy values, and no, not in the terms of your I'm not mentioning the terms of magnitude, but in the sense of that trend, or you can say their nature. Okay, you should just know the nature of those. Suppose if there is a reaction where they have given you Rx, okay, and FCl, Br, and iodine, which one X is equals to any halogen. So which one of these will react? Easily break with that alkyl group? Obviously, if you know that iodine is having a larger shape, so it can break easily. That Rx bond can be broken easily if halogen is present. As compared to fluorine, it is a very electronegative atom, so the bond is too strong to break easily. So therefore, the trend begins like iodine first, again bromine, then chlorine, then fluorine. So this is the trend you can usually see. And when you can answer such questions, when you have the physical idea of all those things about atoms, and with physical also you should need to study about the periodic uh, p- elements, as I mentioned. Now the second is, after studying this, when you come to start actual studying of the organic chemistry, the first thing is you should know the names are very very important. Okay, you never know that the examiner can either give you the direct compound, or he would just give you the name of that compound. If you don't know the name of the compound, then it becomes very difficult to proceed further. So nomenclature is very important. Just practice as many as you can. Different functional groups are present, different functional groups have different names. Okay, if present, and there is a series, okay, which one should be given first priority, then second, the second priority, and all those things. So nomenclature is very important. If you don't know nomenclature, please don't proceed further. Okay, just come back to the basics, study nomenclature, then move, or just continue what you were studying. The second thing, isomerism. Now isomerism is very important, because when you start doing chemical reactions and all those things, sometimes there are some of the structure which differ from what you would feel the answer would have been. For example, tautomerism, keto-enol tautomerism. You might feel that no, alcohol might be the product, but the options that are given is of ketone. Okay, so that is because tautomerism. If you don't know that keto-enol tautomerism, then you can't answer. Again, there can be SN1 and SN2. There can be neighboring group participation and all those things. So when can you answer such questions is when you know when you know these concepts. Okay, so with basics I meant this. Okay, one part is your physical part of those structures, and again in the second part is where the core, which I call the core of the organic chemistry, is your nomenclature and isomerism. Don't focus much on the physical part of the organic chemistry, such as bond angle and all those things. Just get the trend, just get the idea how it's working. That is more than enough. Just don't go for any other book. NCERT is sufficient. Just stick to it, NCERT. But if you are preparing for nomenclature and isomerism, just study from the textbook only, NCERT. You can solve different questions from different coaching institutes, or PDFs are available on the internet freely. Telegram is also a good source for coaching different types of material. You can just download them there and you can practice. Now, while studying organic chemistry, 4 things are very important. That one is for the first, as I mentioned just ago, that is nomenclature and isomerism. The second is preparation. While studying any of those functional groups or any important major topics such as aldehyde, ketone, and carboxylic acids and all those things, proper preparation methods is very important. The third one is chemical reactions. After preparation, you should know how they react, okay, with whom they react, in what media, in what conditions they react. So all these things you can understand only in chemical reactions. And again, the next thing is properties and uses. So properties is important because some with properties you can solve descriptive questions. These properties will help you differentiate similar atoms or similar functional groups, or functional groups which have same nature. So okay, so with these things you can differentiate them. Now the next slide is okay, from now these slides I will tell you in what topic you need to study. Okay, so no, for example, this is a purification. It is a part of analytical chemistry. It is a part of analytical chemistry. It is a part of analytical chemistry. So in analytical, it is important for your advance also, because they can ask you about salt analysis and all those things. So salt analysis I will tell you in the next slide. So in the purification part, crystallization. Just a second, I will take a highlighter. Okay, crystallization, sublimation, distillation, differential extraction, and chromatography principles. Okay, this part you can refer NCERT as well as any online YouTube source or material. Just don't go deep into it, because they won't ask you any master's level concept. They will ask you in the basic, very basic only. But the thing is, you should understand and you should remember all. In chromatography, there are different chromatographies. For example, TLC is there, HPLC is there, and on gas phase chromatography, column phase. So don't go too deep. Just understand what the principle is, and what the principle is present. What are the solvents? What are the moving parts? Just remember the basic things. Okay, not good. Just don't go into the deep, because you are in 11th and 12th. They won't they won't ask you such tough questions. Okay, even they have that mindset. Yeah, they like even the students of class 11th and 12th might not be knowing all those things. It's well and good if you want to increase your knowledge, then no issues from my side. But I would suggest don't waste unnecessary time on those things, because time is very important. It can decide either you are in or out. So please. Now, the next is qualitative analysis. Okay, detection of nitrogen, sulfur, and all those phosphorus and halogen. I think NCERT has mentioned most of those things. Okay, very good. Apart from that, if you have any coaching material, that is more than enough. Okay. Now, quantitative analysis, estimation, and carbon, hydrogen, phosphorus. Again, NCERT has mentioned all those things. Empirical formula identification, and there are some questions in example or problem also. So practice them as many as you can. Okay, if you just practice with them, it can be very fun if you are practicing with your friends. Okay, it is just like solving puzzles. It can be very creative. Okay, if you are a group of 2, 3, 4, 5, like you are, even though if you are two only bestie friends, then it will help. Just go with it. Okay, now calculation of empirical, as I mentioned, so this can be very fun to do. Just go with the NCERT or any other subsequent reference book that you are referring. In some basic principles of chemistry. Okay, this is the second part. As I mentioned, I will be like dealing in depth about each and every chapter. So this is that. Again, here you need to study about the shapes and of simple molecules. Okay, shapes. By shapes, I mean that there are different shapes: tetrahedral, planar, and all those. So just understand that topic concept. Now hybridization. Okay, sp2, sp3, and in sp2, sp3, which one is having s character more, which one is having p character more, which one is acidic, which one is basic. So go with it. Classification of functional groups, you should remember that series functional group का जो series दिया होता है वो आपको याद होना चाहिए by hand, because on that basis only you can give nomenclature. अगर आपको सीरीज पता है कौन सा फंक्शनल ग्रुप किस फंक्शनल ग्रुप की प्रायोरिटी चाहता है, सो देन एट दैट टाइम यू कैन इजीली you can give the naming to those things. Isomerism, yeah, structural and stereoisomerism is very important. Cis and trans, E's and Z, R and S configuration, and cis trans A and Z. Okay, Newman projection, Fisher projection. Okay, so these few things just remember here and there. And nomenclature, yeah, don't just forget nomenclature of all the things. And just remember types of bond also present. Okay, in advanced level questions, if you are like writing the answers, so it becomes important that you are how to write and bond order and all how to write bonds and all those things. So it is important for your for your board exams also. You should be well prepared type of homolytic and heterolytic cleavages and all those things. Okay, so that is important. I'm going just my pen. Okay, now electron displacement in a covalent bond. Then again, effects: inductive effect, electromagnetic effect, resonance effect, and hyperconjugation. It is very important because it will, in chemical reactions and in some of the named reactions, these effect will, help you give the products. Okay, so as competition is increasing, the paper can be set a little bit of tough. So with and you can these things can be somewhat that sharpening your of the what you can say. ये मतलब ये आपके चांसेस मतलब या आप इन और आउट हो कि नहीं कहने के चांसेस हैं. ठीक है, अगर आप ये ऐसे चीज़ों को जानते हो तो ये आपको इन भी करवा सकता है या आउट भी करवा सकता है. So that is important. Now common types of organic reactions. Okay, there are substitution reaction, addition reaction, elimination, and rearrangement. Now it is very important. Again, it is with respect to your chemical reactions of all those functional groups. So substitution reaction, there are again SN1, SN2 reaction, SNAR1 होता है, SNI reaction होता है. So there are three for PUC level SN1, SN2 is enough. But if you want to increase your knowledge a little bit, then just go with some of the references book that I have mentioned in my link. So you can refer them. In addition reaction, elimination reaction, there are some rules also in addition reaction. For example, Markovnikov rule and anti-Markovnikov rule. In elimination reaction, Hoffman rule, Jeff rule, and all those things. And rearrangement, what type of rearrangement is possible in carbocation, carbanion, radicals. So these things, intermediates is also important. When you know intermediates, then you can solve easily such questions. Rearrangement part becomes very clear when you are good with your intermediates. Now hydrocarbons. Again, in hydrocarbons comes your alkenes and alkynes. As I mentioned, preparation is very important. Okay, preparation is important, their chemical properties is important, chemical reactions are important. So here are the conformations of alkanes, Sohos and Newman projections of ethane. Okay, only ethane is mentioned in your like syllabus, so go with it, the only ethane. Mechanism of halogenation of alkanes. Okay, alkanes can easily go under halogenation reaction, so those mechanism named reactions, just make it alkenes. Okay, geometrical isomerism. In alkenes you start with isomerisms. Again, in the here electrophilic addition reaction, hydrogen, halogen, water, hydrogen halides, and all those things. So these again, this Markovnikov rule, in presence of peroxide, what will happen? That is anti-Markovnikov rule. Ozone-lysis reaction, very important reaction. Oxidations reactions, so different oxidizing agents are there. Okay, reagents that I forgot. Reagents are very important when you are studying chemistry. If you know the reagents, that means you know the chemistry. 70 to 80% of the chemistry is known if you know the reagents. Okay, so knowing reagent is very important. And how can you know different kinds of rearrangement is by practice. Okay, this will not come in a day. Rome was not built in a day. So to build that Rome, to build that massive empire, you need to do a lot of war. You need to fight a lot of war. You may lose sometime, you may win sometime, but those scars and all those things one day will be worth of it. So remember that one. And the next is alkynes. Again, same, whatever happens in alkenes happens with alkynes, because they are just like sisters. Okay, so alkenes and alkynes same. Don't miss any topic in those. There might be some exceptional changes in those things, oxidation and reduction reactions, all those things, but all those concepts that you are studying in alkenes, you need to study in alkynes also. Now aromatic hydrocarbons, you just have only benzene ring. Okay, apart from benzene ring, nothing. Yeah, there might be some of the heterocyclic compounds, for example, oxygen containing, nitrogen containing, but they would be very simple. Okay, so don't take burden of that. But I think most of the thing will be of your benzene ring only. And in benzene ring, you need to study this. Benzene is very important. Okay, you need to study aromaticity first. Just study how aromatic it is. What are those rules? What are the nature? What is the condition to being aromatic in nature? So first study aromaticity. Now the second is mechanism of electrophilic substitution. These things that whichever I'm marking with this highlighter is just study those. Okay, those are very important. Aromaticity is important. Mechanism of electrophilic substitution reaction is very important. Halogenation, nitration, Friedel-Crafts, alkylation, acylation, all these things when you are studying an aromatic compound is very important. Okay, studying them with alkanes and alkanes will ease some of your work, or it will lower your burden. Okay, so don't miss it. Very, very important. Just study that. Now, organic compounds containing halogens. So this can, again, you should prepare for the preparation, properties, and reaction. These three things in each and every chapter that you are studying in organic chemistry. Prepare these three things. Nature of CX bond, as I mentioned in the earlier example, like fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So such natures, such questions you can only answer if you know the properties and all those things. Now, mechanism of substitution reaction. There are some of the most of the substitution reaction taking place in halogen containing compounds. So mechanism, how those mechanism are going now? Why? Most of you might be asking that in an MCQ based question, why mechanism is important? Because mechanism, when you know the mechanism, that means that you can write the product very easily. Okay, if you don't know the mechanism, just writing a reactant and in the presence of a reagent, writing the product will become, you might feel easy when you are practicing on all those things, but when you go in the exam, the questions can be very confusing. So to remove that confusion, you should know the mechanism, at what part of the reagent the catalyst working on, and all those things. So mechanism is you should need to practice. And don't worry, the mechanisms in organic chemistry for class 11th and 12th are not very much tough. They are very, very simple. If you know the tricks, if you understand those patterns. Organic chemistry is all about patterns. Remember that. Organic chemistry is all about pattern. Okay, it is all about pattern. If you understand those patterns, you can easily solve organic chemistry questions. Okay, now uses of these halogen compounds, environmental effects, chloroform, iodine, ferrons. Okay, this you have studied in 9th and 10th. Okay, even a small kid can answer these things. So just here also you might have gone like a little bit of depth, not over you can say that you have just scratched the surface of those things in class 11th and 12th. There is not much rocket science in these things. Now, compounds containing oxygen, very very important. It is very very important. Just don't miss it. Now, what are those compounds? Again, alcohols. Just remember that you need to prepare preparation methods, chemical reactions, and their properties. These three things are important. Okay. So again, identification of primary, secondary, tertiary alcohols. These things are very important because based on these, primary, secondary, and tertiary, they can ask you the properties. They can ask you the reaction. There are most of the primary and secondary reactions undergo oxidation and all those things, but tertiary alcohols might not go oxidation reactions in presence of some reagents. Sorry. So please study that thing. Okay, understand those properties. Here properties becomes important. And mechanism of dehydration. Okay, how the dehydration is occurring, what intermediate is forming after the dehydration, with that intermediate is there any rearrangement and all those things. So see, you can link all these questions, and if you while studying only you can link all those three other things, then just imagine how the examiner can set the paper. Okay, he have a lot of knowledge. The examiner setter is not he's not from any local college. He might be from an IIT professor, and or he might be coming from a top institute of India. So he can set a paper in any form. वो पेन अगर उल्टा अगर ऐसा अगर क्वेश्चन है उसको घुमा फिरा के ऐसा भी दे सकता है. सो कुछ भी कर सकता है. अगर क्वेश्चन को अगर उसने चाहे वो उसको इमेज के रिएक्टर्स के शेप में भी दे सकता है या डिस्क्रिप्टिव शेप में भी दे सकता है, या आपको कंफ्यूज करने के लिए ही कैन आस्क यू इन अ जनरल रिएक्शन. Okay, he can give कि if you are a student performing this that reaction, something happened, that happened, this color came, that color came, so what is the product, and all those things. Anything they can ask. So such questions, and these solving these questions, answering these questions, will you take you to higher rank, because most of the I bet you 95% of the students won't be solving such questions. So solving difficult questions is very important. Just try solving difficult questions when you are practicing, when you are studying. Okay, now coming back to the topic, the phenols, that is acidic nature, it is very important because they might ask you the acidity of different phenols. They might give you 3 to 4 structures of different phenols, okay, having different functional different substituents attached to each other. So they might ask you the acidic nature and all those things. Electrophilic substituents reactions, again same, whatever you have studied on the benzene, same applies here. Electrophilic addition, substitution reactions and all those things. In that, halogenation has been mentioned, nitration has been mentioned, sulfonation, Riemann-Tiemann reaction. So whatever mentioned in the syllabus, study that. Okay, and plus substitute some other materials which are similar to those things. This will help you understand concepts, and it might help you in the exam. Who knows what the examiner is has been mind with, and what he's gonna ask. Then ethers, again ether preparation on all those things. Structures, remember those structures. Nomenclature is very important when it's come to ethers. ओके, कंफ्यूजिंग हो सकता है, ठीक है. मिथॉक्सी की जगह इथॉक्सी लिख सकते हो, इथॉक्सी की जगह मिथॉक्सी लिख सकते हो, कुछ भी लिख सकते हो. सो कंफ्यूज ना हो, डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज इन द एग्जाम. ओके, सो एल्डिहाइड्स एंड कीटोन्स, आई बिलीव 70% ऑफ द ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री इज दिस ओनली. अगर एल्डिहाइड्स इनको जितने फंक्शनल ग्रुप्स हैं ना, अगर सारे फंक्शनल ग्रुप्स को एक तरफ रख दे तो एल्डिहाइड एंड कीटोन 70% कवर कर लेगा. दिस इज व्हाट आई फील, बिकॉज हर एक मोस्ट ऑफ द केमिकल रिएक्शन और कोई भी आप कंपाउंड देख लो, इंपॉर्टेंट कंपाउंड लाइफ में, आई मीन ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री में, उसमें एल्डिहाइड कार्बन होता ही, एंड दैट इज एनी और रिलेटेड टू आइदर इट माइट बी द एल्डिहाइड और कीटोन और कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड. सो इट बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. या इसके सारे प्रिपरेशन, इसके सारे रिएक्शंस याद होने चाहिए. सो रिएक्शंस पे कौन से न्यूक्लियोफिलिक एडिशन रिएक्शन, okay, relative reactivities, which one is more reactive, aldehyde or ketone. In some cases aldehyde is reactive, in some cases ketone is reactive. So in all those things, nucleophilic reaction, addition reaction, for example, of HCN, NS3 and its derivatives, Grignard reagent, it plays a very important role when it comes to carbonyl carbon bonds. Oxidation reaction, reduction reaction, that is name some of the named reactions. Okay, I will come up with another video where I will be mentioning some of the important or named reactions. So just wait for 2-3 days. I will uploading that named reaction chapter very soon. Then Clemens and reduction reaction. It is also a reduction reaction in which carbonyl compound is being converted into an alkane. Wolff-Kishner is also same. You convert a carbonyl compound into an alcohol, but the reagents are different. So based on those things, it is and when all these two reactions contain different mechanisms. So intermediate things mechanism, now here it applies. Okay, when you were studying like such mechanisms on all those basics, here you can apply such things. Now chemical test you can study it in analytical part. Don't study separately, just study there only. In carboxylic acid, again they can ask you strength and factors affecting those things. Okay, so same again, preparation, properties and uses. With that, add this acidic strength and factors affecting part also. Now compounds containing nitrogen, that can be your amine and amides. The only two things are present, that is your amines and amides. In amines, nomenclature, classification, structure, basic character, identification of primary, secondary and tertiary amines. So it is very important when you study the basicity of these three things, that is your primary, tertiary and secondary. Sorry, forgive me if my pronunciations are different, whatever, from what you heard in my school and my colleges. They used to pronounce it tertiary, so it got fixed into my subconscious mind only. So it's coming to tertiary only. Now diazonium salt, it is very important. Diazonium reactions, they can give you different they can give a reactant, and they might give reagents. Okay, यहाँ पे अगर कोई ए है, उसके अंदर कोई रिएजेंट दे देंगे, बी बना, सी कैसे बना बताओ, या सी में कौन सा, बी में कौन सा रिएजेंट लगा जिससे बी बना. सो ऑन ऑल दोज थिंग्स आर इम्पोर्टेंट. Polymers, here polymers you need to prepare again, types of polymers, classification and methods of polymerization, addition reaction, condensation reactions. So these things are copolymerization, types of reactions in this, but is important. Again, natural and synthetic, they can ask you what are the natural polymers that are available, synthetic polymers that are being synthesized, and all those. They can give you 4 options. You have to select 1, 2, and some of their monomers. Okay, you need to study the monomer of those things. Monomer is important. Natural versus synthetic. Monomer याद रखिए, their types. And what? Common name. Common name is also important. So polymers, all these 3 things, NCERT is enough. Plus, don't go for coaching material, because I think they would give you extra stuff and all those things which are not important. And again, it's left to you. The choice is yours. If you want to study any coaching institute that you are following, it's well and good. You can study that to have that edge. But if you are someone who is not having that facility, you can go with just a PDF of many coaching institutes that are available on the Telegram. And you don't need me to tell how to download all those things. You can do these things on your own. Biomolecules. In biomolecules, the one and most important part is your carbohydrates. Don't miss carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is very important, because carbohydrates, they can ask n number of questions. Again, aldose, ketose, that is types of carbohydrates. Monosaccharides, what are monosaccharides? Okay, again, oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides means made up of 2 or more than 2 monomers. Okay, so you should remember those monomers, what type of linkages form. Linkages in monomers. Structures, they can ask you structures. So glucose and fructose, they can be a lot more confusing. And again, mesomers. So mesomers are differentiate in only 1 or 2 carbon. Only 1 carbon is different from the other molecules and all those things. So it is very important. In proteins, I don't think the protein can be very that much of a difficult part. But you need to study primary and secondary type of proteins, what are they and all those things. In protein, you can include amino acids. 20 amino acids are important, and those 20 amino acids again are divided into essential amino acids, non-essential amino acids, and these can be again different types. Some have been based on the presence of functional group, acidity, basicity, neutral, sulfur containing amino acids, and most of the things. Okay, so just go on the YouTube. So just watch for biomolecules. You can refer YouTube. Okay, that's enough. YouTube, and just solve questions. With solving, you can inculcate those things in your subconscious mind so that it doesn't become any burden at the time of your exams. Vitamins, types of vitamins. What are all those types of vitamins? Different types of vitamins. Call their common name as well as their specific name. Okay, chemical name. You should remember because they may ask you the chemical as well as the common name. Match the following. Okay, they can give you in the match the following questions. Again, nucleic acid, it is again part of a protein also. Just remember DNA, RNA. Those who are from biology background, they might feel it very easy, biomolecules part. But those who are from PCM, okay, those who didn't study bio in their, those have not opted for biology in some of the colleges, it's the like their chance कि मतलब biology नहीं रखते हैं वो, PCM ही होता है. For example, in Maharashtra they have a choice, in Telangana, in Hyderabad and all those part of the India, there are option कि sorry, I don't know about other states, but in my state, that is Karnataka, you have to study both maths as well as biology. Yeah, but some of the institute, like they also, most of the like 80 to 87 to 80% वाले जो को हैं colleges, उनमें maths and biology fix है. And sorry, I don't know about other college institutes. Yeah, biomolecules, this much is enough. You can substantiate it with your coaching institute if present. If not, okay, no problem, no issues. Chemistry in everyday life, it is a very basic chapter. Okay, NCERT, I would suggest you to just read NCERT and just get some plus PYQs of this chapter, previous year questions. Okay, and with previous year questions, you might first go for a previous year questions, then read the books. If you feel that NCERT is not that much enough for your preparation, then go for any coaching material. Just my handwriting is getting worst. Coaching material or YouTube videos. Those who can't afford, who are not facilitated with the coaching material and all those things, I would suggest go for YouTube. YouTube best है. YouTube पे बहुत कुछ है, आप YouTube से बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हो. एंड मेरी मानो तो YouTube से आप बहुत जल्दी सीख सकते हो. It will save a lot of time instead of reading books, collecting material, marking, having notes and all those things. उन लोगों ने ऑलरेडी आपके लिए उतना सब बना के रखा है. सो आप अगर ऐसी चीज़ों पे, ओके, फॉर सच टॉपिक्स आप यूट्यूब वीडियोस ही प्रेफर कीजिए इंस्टेड ऑफ रीडिंग बुक्स. आपका बहुत सारा टाइम भी बच जाएगा एंड उसका प्रैक्टिस भी हो जाएगा आपका ऑलमोस्ट. सो उसमें केमिकल्स इन फूड, chemicals in medicines and all those things is important. Again, biology background students can easily do this part and substitute this with lot of questions. Okay, questions के साथ ज़्यादा substitute करना अच्छा रहेगा. Again, related to practical chemistry, this can come in your inorganic part also, but I will be explaining I will be explaining this in in the inorganic part, because वहाँ पे बहुत अच्छे से समझ पाओगे आप इसको. यहाँ पे जो टॉपिक मेंशन है, जैसे फंक्शनल ग्रुप्स एनालिसिस है, ठीक है. फॉर एग्जांपल, हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड, हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई कार्बोनिल ग्रुप, हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई अनसैचुरेटेड कंपाउंड. सो हियर दीज थिंग्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आप उसको पढ़ लीजिए, कोई यूट्यूब वीडियोस देख लीजिए, या फिर अगर आपके पास कोई मटेरियल है देन बहुत अच्छा है. जस्ट डे बाय डे कभी कभी ऐसे बैठे हो फ्रेंड्स के साथ डिस्कस कर लो, या कहीं घर पे हो या वॉक कर रही हो, तो जस्ट रिमेंबर दैट थिंग. ओके, सो इतना काफ़ी है. नाउ केमिस्ट्री इन्वॉल्व इन द प्रिपरेशन ऑफ फॉलोइंग थिंग: इनऑर्गेनिक, मोर सॉल्ट्स, पोस्ट एनलम. ओके, व्हेन यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर इनऑर्गेनिक, ये इनडायरेक्टली आपका प्रिपेयर हो ही जाएगा. इनऑर्गेनिक जब आप एस ब्लॉक, पी ब्लॉक, डी ब्लॉक पढ़ रहे होगे ना, तो इनऑर्गेनिकली इनडायरेक्टली आप ये सब प्रिपेयर कर ही लोगे. सो एंड अगेन एसिड बेसिस, यूज़ इंडिकेटर्स, कैसे आप इंडिकेटर्स की तरह यूज़ करोगे KMnO4 को एंड मोर सॉल्ट को एंड ऑल दिस. ये इनऑर्गेनिक में कवर हो जाएगा, ये भी कवर हो जाएगा. केमिकल प्रिंसिपल्स, या ऑल दिस इज ऑल्सो गेट कवर्ड इनटू इनऑर्गेनिक पार्ट. केमिकल प्रिंसिपल्स इन्वॉल्व इन द फॉलोइंग एक्सपेरिमेंट्स: एंथैल्पी, सॉल्यूशन, CSO4, न्यूट्रलाइजेशन, स्ट्रॉन्ग बेस, प्रिपरेशन. ये इतना डीप पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है आपको, इतना शायद नहीं आएगा आपको इतना डेप्थ में. क्वेश्चंस आएंगे, नहीं आने के मतलब चांसेस नहीं है. इतना डेप्थ नहीं आएगा, आपको डरने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है। एनसीईआरटी पढ़ लीजिए, बहुत है। इनऑर्गेनिक के साथ साथ फिजिकल में जैसे एंथोल एंथैल्पी ये सब आप पढ़ ही लोगे तो वहाँ पे आपका कवर हो जाएगा ना। अब ये तो हो गया, इतना मैंने चैप्टर्स के बारे में बता दिया कि कैसे कैसे पढ़ना है, कौन सा चैप्टर कब कैसे पढ़ना है, क्या नहीं, किसके साथ पढ़ना है। अब ये सब होने के बाद द रियल चैलेंज इज हाउ यू परफॉर्म। ओके, after studying all these things, having your notes done, okay, short notes done and all those things, do as much as possible revisions. Revision is very important. रिवीजन से क्या होता है ना कि आप मतलब सबकॉन्शियस माइंड को यू आर जस्ट फीडिंग दैट सबकॉन्शियस माइंड सो दैट इन एग्जाम यू कैन लाइक पुट इट ऑन द पेपर in OMR sheet or like while writing in your mock test and all those things. So revision and practice is very important. Just practice as much as you can. बस प्रैक्टिस कीजिए, तभी आपको ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री ईजी लगेगा। अगर आपने प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया एंड यू वांट ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री टू बी ईजी, सो माय फ्रेंड आई एम सॉरी, इट कांट बी। नथिंग कम्स वेरी ईजी इन लाइफ। ओके, सो ये एक एग्जांपल है उसका। Yeah, again revision, for the first thing is practice and all those things. The second is revision. And now after practicing and revision you should give a lot of test. जितना ज़्यादा टेस्ट दे सकते हो आप रियल टेस्ट देने से पहले उतना टेस्ट दे दीजिए, ताकि आप एक जैसे एज ए मेंशन्ड इन माय स्टार्टिंग स्लाइड ओनली, इट इज़ गुड टू bleed while you are practicing than in the war. Okay, so that you bleed less in the battlefield. असेसमेंट इज जस्ट लाइक दैट ओनली। जितना ज़्यादा मॉक टेस्ट हो सकता है दीजिए। ओके, गिव नेशनल लेवल मॉक टेस्ट। नेशनल लेवल मॉक टेस्ट, व्हाट आई मीन बाय नेशनल लेवल इज आप ऑनलाइन टेस्ट दीजिए। ऑनलाइन टेस्ट मतलब कोई भी कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट, जैसे कि बहुत सारे हैं, आई वोंट नेम एनी वन, ठीक है। सो देर आर मेनी कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स विच आर हैविंग देयर मॉक टेस्ट एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स, लाइक ठीक है। एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द लाइक वी कम फ्रॉम मिडिल क्लास फैमिली, ठीक है, हम बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो मिडिल क्लास फैमिली से आते हैं। सो अगर फिजिक्स वाला प्रीफर कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि उन्होंने बहुत कम रेट पे लाइक रीजनेबल रेट पे उन्होंने ये सब रखे हुए हैं, कोचिंग हो गए या फिर टेस्ट सीरीज हो गए, मटेरियल्स हो गए। सो यू कैन गो विद देम, या फिर टेलीग्राम पे बहुत कुछ मिल जाएगा आपको फ्री में, सोर्स मिल जाएंगे, या ऑनलाइन भी आप अगर वेबसाइट्स पे देखो, सो दे हैव मेंशन्ड मोस्ट ऑफ द वेबसाइट्स, दे हैव मेंशन्ड different coaching institutes के question bank test series, chapter wise, unit wise and all those things. So just go with them. And one more thing, do one thing is you can just buy an OMR sheet. OMR sheet एक ले लीजिए, प्रिंट ले लीजिए, प्रिंट लेके जस्ट ट्राई फीलिंग वाइल यू आर प्रैक्टिस जब देते ना तभी फील कीजिए, सो दैट ये आपकी आदत बन जाएगी, स्पीड इंक्रीज हो जाएगी एक तो इससे आपकी, और फाइनल एग्जाम में आपको ज़्यादा टाइम वेस्ट करने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, एंड मिस्टेक्स भी कम होंगे। अब बबलिंग भी, जैसे बहुत सारे लोग क्या करते हैं, रॉन्ग बबल कर देते हैं, इवन दो दे नो द आंसर्स, दे लाइक अननोइंगली रॉन्ग बबलिंग कर देते हैं। सो इससे आपके मिस्टेक्स कम हो जाएंगे, नॉट कम्प्लीटली ज़ीरो हो जाएंगी या, बट बहुत हद तक आपकी कम हो जाएंगी। जो नहीं करते वेल एंड गुड, बट जिनको लाइक मिस्टेक्स करने की मतलब बहुत मिस्टेक्स करते हैं, उनके लिए प्रिफर आई वुड लाइक जस्ट टेक अ शीट and just practice it. Yeah, this is guys, so this is how you need to study organic chemistry. If you just love this method, please support me, share as much as you can, tell your friends to join this, share with your family members, if they are family members, like अगर आपके कोई भाई बहन है, okay, if someone is in your family who is preparing for this exam, JEE or NEET exam, so well and good, शेयर कीजिए उनके साथ, सो दैट मुझे भी सपोर्ट मिलेगा, मे बी लाइक आई कैन यू ब्रिंग सच वीडियोस मोर, मैं भी मोटिवेट होता रहूँगा कि या लाइक माई कंटेंट इज़ वैल्यूएबल, समवंस लाइफ इज़ गेटिंग वैल्यूड विथ माई कंटेंट, so it will motivate me to do such videos more. Next video I will bring about inorganic as well as physical. So thank you and Jai Hind. Thank you and Jai Hind.